All right. I want to thank you so much for joining today. This is our third session, and it's going to be a short session in about 50 minutes, thereabout. But basically, we've been talking about agile project management. So it will span across the whole concept from the project management, product management, and business analysis. Those are the three key goals for us to deliver, and those will be our definition of done. Very soon you would understand that concept called definition of done. So it just means that before you start any project, you would have defined what a done state would be. And then you go back to the beginning and then work towards that definition of done. Just like someone who wants to visit London, you already know your landmark, maybe landing airport will be Heathrow. So you've defined everything that happened at Heathrow. You're now working your way through the process of getting visa, getting the whole process, flying, and then landing in Heathrow. So basically. So the last time, I don't know, were we able to review the were you able to review the video for Dr. Shola?
I'm still on it.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to say. So, that video you have to take it slowly and all of that. So,
Slowly, wow. Okay, please.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
know. Adult education is something else these days. Yeah. Yeah, I get. But so it's great, but please, we need to put some speed into it so that we can chunk it all, because everything we're building, it's like we're building in layers. So it would be good to have a very sound understanding of the basics before we build other stuffs on it. So, but just to do a quick recap, the last time when we met, I said there's always a project business case. So let me give us a practical example of what just happened during the course of my week. One of my business team discovered now that they need three applications to work together. One of the application receives the inputs completely, but that application cannot feed into the other two. So now they are telling us that please, we need an integration between application A and application B and C, such that when application A receives all these details, is able to send this data element to to B, and this other data element to C. So what they are doing currently is that they have to recruit 6 new people to quickly to be opening about 5,000 files and extract data element from those files and upload it into application B and C. So which we know is not sustainable, and it will take a longer time, more energy, more cost, and all those things. So this is that shows a project business case, a business case that says I have issues with I need application A to feed into B and C. Now, when you have that business case and they report it to a product owner, either a business product owner or a technical product owner, what we try to do is that we define a project vision. My project vision that I defined by setting up a meeting, a kickoff meeting, is I said automation, automation, ingestion of data element from system A or from application A to application B and C. That's the project vision now. Do we understand how I'm breaking it down? I've spoken to the project business case. That's the problem that the business has. Then we, as a technical product owner, we now need to internalize that problem and turn it into a statement that a technical person will understand. A technical person only understands automated processes. Okay, they want an auto system job that can extract a certain data element from A, take that to B, and extract another set of data element from A and take it to C. And because of that, their own understanding is they are thinking, okay, how do we extract this data element? They are thinking, okay, should we create a CSV file kind of pathway? Should we create an integration pipeline between the two systems that will only extract some selected things? How do we map the data element that is needed? What kind of file do you want to be transmitted? Do you want it to be Excel, or you want it to be PDF? Or do you just want the data element to just come and show automatically on the UI of this thing? If it's going to just come and show, that means you need an API to application programming interface to communicate, to pull from application B, to go and pull on A and bring it from the database in which A is storing his own stuff. And then application C too, do you want the same thing? If you now want it to be an API to pull it to the user interface, do you want it to be a beautified user interface so that there will be excellent user experience? That's where other thinking comes in. Then that means we need a UI UX developer that will build that interface. We need a back-end developer that will build the API that will go and pull from the database. And we need a database administrator that will give access to the API to be able to pull from the database. I hope we're all together, please. You can do a thumbs up. You don't need to unmute or talk. Just do a thumbs up or put a chat so that we know we're following. So because now that project vision has been defined, then we can now break all these things that I've set down into what we call a product backlog. Everything I've listed, from API to UI interface to database administrator, backend, getting access and all those things, then we can then break all those down into what we call a prioritized product backlog. Now, once we now agree on this, we work with the team. The team maybe is a vendor that will develop it. We work with the vendor. They come up with something called SOW. It's called statement of work. The statement of work will come with both the timeline, how they've broken down the job, the total scope of the job, the budget that will be required. Then the SOW goes through approval. Once it goes through approval, then we decide. In the SOW, they also plan the release date, the date they are going to finish. So if they say in 90 days, then we know that this is a 3-month project, and then we divide it into maybe 2-week sprints. If we now divide into 2-week sprints, that's where the sprint cycle now comes in. Generally, Scrum advocate that sprint should be between 1 to 4 weeks. If you have a very massive project, you can make the sprint 4 weeks. If you have a project that is not too big, then you can make it between 1 to 2 weeks so that you can have rapid iterations. Iterations, don't forget, is about timeline. Incremental is about the features. We said that in our first meeting. So then we pick selectively from the prioritized product backlog. We start dropping it into the sprint backlog every sprint. So we call something sprint planning meeting. In the sprint planning meeting, we go to the product backlog. We remove the things we think we'll be able to finish within a sprint. That's the work. And then we pick them, but we pick them as user stories. So I explained the breakdown between when we get this vision, we break it down into epics. Epics are broken down into features. Features are broken down into stories. Stories can be broken down into task and subtask. So it's just a continuous breakdown like that. And I likened it to the concept of organism, system, organ, tissue, cell, and maybe organelles. That's just the way it is, from epic to feature to story to task and to subtask, depending on how fine-tuned or how well you just want to divide that job. So everything goes into sprint. We start development work. Within a sprint, you can run a development work and a quality assurance job. And if you're able to deliver the feature, then it is counted as delivered. For each of the story we bring, we call something story points. So we bring story points and we're able to release those story points into, we total those story points. So if I have a sprint now and I'm able to bring 5 stories, and each of my story, I give it a story point of like, okay, can I mute?
Please, can we ask Dr. Nide, can you please mute?
Yeah, I want to.
Oh, so sorry.
All right, sir. Thank you. Okay. Can you mute? You've unmuted again. Okay. Oh, what's happening? Something is unmuting you back. Okay, great.
You are still unmuted, sir.
What's wrong? Why are you being unmuted back? I'm trying to check the settings. Okay,
I
great.
think he's muted.
Oh, he's unmuted again. Something is unmuting him back. Okay. Excellent. So we're good. All right. So, and I said we have user story that we bring into the point, the sprint. Now, each user story is assigned something called a story point. We use this what we call the Fibonacci sequence. Just give me a second. I want to log in on the other system so that I will be able to write and we'll be able to follow. I will stop sharing here. Just give me a few seconds and you will see me share on the other slide, on the other screen, on the other system.